Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome. So, today I want to talk a little bit about the first foundation of mindfulness, which is mindfulness of the body. And this is really central to meditation in general. And I've heard it said a lot of times by Buddhist teachers that come from Asia when they come to the United States or to other Western, more modern, fast paced societies, that it's striking to them how everybody, or many people, seem to be living from the neck up in the head. And this is kind of understandable in a lot of ways because a lot of Western societies tend to revolve around productivity, getting things done, and that involves planning and organizing and a lot of thinking and being in the head. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that, and um, but one of the effects of that is that it can often lead to a state of being disembodied. So I just wanted to take a second right now, wherever you're sitting and listening to this, and taking a second to just sense your whole body. Below the neck, the torso, just allowing the body to breathe and just becoming aware, oh, there's this whole body that I'm in right now. And from that place, continuing to listen right now. So this practice of mindfulness of the body involves gradually opening to sensations of breath in the body and expanding to experience the whole body breathing. And can be, like medicine for the busy mind, for the to-do mind, through the exhausted mind. This state of embodiment often leads to a lot of fatigue, and mindfulness of the body can be a nourishing practice of coming back to the body, of healing the body, and then ultimately seeing the body for what it actually is, which is nature, right? Every human body is the product of many, many years and countless generations of evolution. It's not ultimately us or me that's the body. And so gradually opening to the body can allow us to see that actually within this body, there's so much beauty, potential, and wisdom that is nature itself, right? The body knows how to breathe on its own. The heart knows how to pump blood on its own. And resting and coming back into that experience can be deeply, deeply healing. So we'll take a few minutes just to sit now. And just wherever you're sitting right now, no need to do anything special other than perhaps taking a slightly more upright posture. Upright, yet relaxed. This is the balance of meditation practice. And you can close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And beginning to become aware that this body is breathing all on its own. Just allowing, receiving, and releasing each breath. And on each out breath, just beginning to soften and become aware. So taking a moment to soften through the head, the forehead. These muscles can often be clenched in daily life, busy thinking, relaxing the top of the head muscles, the jaw, and even softening the brain, the thinking muscle. just with each out breath, softening, opening, and being aware of what's there. And coming down through the neck, this upright yet relaxed posture, softening the neck muscles and the shoulder muscles, letting them hang down naturally. No need to hold them up right now. And all this time, allowing that rhythm of the breath to be supportive in this process, allowing the inhalation and the exhalation to open and to soften into the body. Moving down through the arms, allowing the arms to relax naturally, feeling the weight of the hands wherever they're rested. And through the chest, feeling the opening and releasing of the chest as the breath moves in and out of the lungs. And down through the belly, just softening and releasing any tension from the belly. This can often be knotted up sometimes in daily life. So just taking a moment to release whatever can be released in this moment. And moving down into the waist and the hips, becoming aware that there are legs below the waist. Sometimes it's possible to lose contact with this lower half of the body in daily life. So just becoming aware of the hips, the thighs, the calf muscles, all the way down to the feet. And connecting to the ground beneath, this supportive, and welcoming presence that's always there. From that place of support, now sensing into the whole body breathing. Just in whatever way feels supportive and stabilizing to the mind. Thinking might be happening. Perhaps plans to do. Whatever it is, just noticing that, becoming aware of that, and being with the experience of the body breathing. In mindfulness practice, thinking isn't a problem. Simply a shift towards being aware of the thinking while it's happening, as opposed to being absorbed into the thinking. So when the mind is thinking, it's possible to just notice, no problem, soften, open, back to the body breathing. noticing the continual movement of the body. This body, which is of nature, has the intelligence within it to breathe, to maintain balance, and to heal when the awareness is in the body. It allows the body to do what it does best all on its own. There's no need to manipulate or control. Simply allowing and continually reorienting to awareness of the felt sense of the body as it is. And in this last minute of sitting, just taking a moment of gratitude for gifting yourself this time to just sit on the ground or in a chair or wherever you are, and to just breathe and be present. And also reflecting on how this simple practice can be a benefit to ourselves and to everyone in our lives and in the greater world. Because this practice allows presence and awareness so we can be there for others. So just wishing that may all beings find and connect to the benefits of this practice. So thanks for taking the time to sit and to be still. It is, like I said, it's a great gift, I think, especially for those of us that may have busy lives, to take 15 or 20 minutes even to just sit down for a second and just breathe can feel like such a relief, I think. It has for me anyways. And what I was sharing at the end about this being of benefit to others, what can happen through the practice is that as mindfulness becomes more and more embedded in the body, there's a stability and a presence that begins to open up. The mind can be more open, less preoccupied, and more grounded in the body itself. And this in itself can be a gift to others. For example, when I'm with a family member or my partner, I can have the time to actually be listening to what they're saying as opposed to maybe my judgments or my plans or the next thing I want to do. I want this to be over with. So the mindfulness of the body, it leads to more of an openness and a receptivity and a presence. So, and that's the way that I feel that this can be of benefit, really, not just to ourselves, but to others. We can free others from our potential judgments or from our ideas or interpretations of what they're saying and hear people more clearly. And so this simple practice, this is something that I try to do probably 100 times a day, just noticing when I'm sitting down to read or to eat a meal or whatever it is, to just take a second, grounding back into the body. It's so simple, doesn't cost any money, it's very, very direct and has really, really long-term and lasting benefits over time. So there's this openness and presence that can evolve out of this. There can be a gradual working through of also emotions in the body. Oftentimes what can happen is when emotions come up in situations where I'm busy or I don't have the time to really feel it, I can almost want to push it away. Don't want to feel this fear right now. Don't want to feel this rejection. Don't want to feel this anxiety. And so the body can become almost compacted, like the emotions aren't able to process and move freely through the system. So it can happen through this embodied awareness, through continually coming back, checking in, opening to the body. Some of these emotions which may be more trapped or avoided can begin to gradually be felt, opened, and released. And this can be from more day-to-day emotions like the busy mind and a slightly kind of anxious feeling, all the way to some of the deeper traumas that are stored in the body. And this is something that I've experienced through, death, through losing people that I really cared about. Didn't realize how I had just pushed away some of that pain, not wanted to feel it, until beginning to do longer meditation retreats and sitting through, days and weeks on end of sitting. And what began to happen is I began to realize that suddenly I was coming up against these waves of release, and I didn't know what was happening, but it felt like I was feeling the grief that I had pushed away so long ago. And it felt a little disorienting at first and also deeply, deeply cathartic. So that's part of what can happen in this mindfulness of the body. And it can also lead to a greater stability of awareness in day-to-day life, right? So like I was talking about before, this can be a continually coming back practice. So this is something I do every day. I go out and try to get a little bit of exercise, come back and prepare food to eat afterwards. And something I'll try to do right before that is to just sit down, because my heart rate's up and I'm kind of elevated, and just take a second to just, okay, let's let the body get back to balance before I go rushing into the next thing that I need to do. Because what I notice when I do that, I'm kind of 2 steps ahead of myself all the time. I'm trying to chop food, I'm trying to prepare, but my mind is still kind of almost propelling forward. But if I can continually take the time to come back, especially before, just take a moment to allow my body to regain balance. And then while I'm preparing the food, just slowing down just a fraction of a bit. You know, it doesn't have to be slow motion, but just so I can be more present for what I'm doing. And this is really simple practice. So the instructions are walking, sitting, standing, lying down. There can be awareness of the postures, awareness of what is happening, what I'm doing in the body, in the moment. So this is really simple, direct, and just practical practice that, you know, we don't have to be on a long-term meditation retreat to feel the benefits of it. And so this is something I would recommend, you know, whenever you can have the time, maybe even picking specific things that maybe happen throughout the day. For like brushing the teeth is a great example that's used often. Maybe that can just be my couple minutes every day where I'm just being with that experience of brushing the teeth. It can be like its own meditation practice. I think this is where the practice one begins to be kind of fun in a way, because as opposed to just feeling like something I'm just doing when I sit down and then go back to my daily life, I can start to see that, oh, there's all these little moments in the day where I can actually, and I enjoy the experience more when I'm not rushing, when I'm actually being with what I'm doing, whatever it is. And so the last thing I wanted to talk about too is that kind of the onward leading way that mindfulness of the body goes is to recognizing the body as nature itself. Like I was saying earlier, these human bodies that we are all in are nature in of themselves. And I think it's easy to forget that sometimes, because I find that I relate more to my identity, you know, myself, my plans, my ideas, what I want to do, that it's easy to forget sometimes that this body itself, like all the other nature around us, trees, animals, is of the same nature. There's life in it. It's alive and is doing it all on its own. So in coming back to this and seeing the continual moving and shifting of the body, something as simple as eating food can realize that I'm completely connected to everything around me. Drinking water, food, this continual flow, input from outside to inside can begin to gradually soften the busyness, the contraction of the sense of self, and open more into connecting to the body as nature. So this can be a seated practice, and it can also be a practice for anything, any activities in daily life. So I offer this to you, and thanks for taking the time to sit down, and see you next time.